Hi, it's Kathy from Bishopstone Yarns, and I'd like to welcome everyone here to episode 61 of Bishopstone's podcast. This is a podcast all about crafting, what I've been making, usually knitting, a bit of sewing, some cross stitch, and I guess whatever else takes my fancy at that point in time. So this episode is going to be about what I've been making in May. It is the end of May at the moment, and so I thought I had better jump on and make a video just to let you know what I've been up to. I have already made this video once, and for some reason all sorts of strange things were happening when I went back to look at it. The sound and picture and everything was all over the place, so I don't know, something very strange is happening with my computer at the moment, so I'm not quite sure what's happening. So I thought I will make this again, but of course, because I've already made it once, this is going to be a really quick version, hopefully, of what I had just gone through. So I am coming to you from Tasmania, which is the little island to the south of Australia, and you find me at the moment in the corner of my studio. And I am really kind of like all cozied up in the corner of my studio at the moment because I have got projects going on all over the place here at the moment, and finding a little space for myself just to sit here and come and chat to you about what I've been doing. So first thing first is I thought I will just start by saying I've got a son here who one of my sons has just moved to the mainland, so he's moved from Tasmania over to the Big Island, as we like to call it, in Australia. And as he was leaving, he left me this absolutely gorgeous present. Now, in the previous episode, I actually had this here in front of me, but the next two things I'm going to talk about, I'm just going to leave them over there because I'm not going to move everything around. Because I'm just concerned that if I do anything with the computer, turn it off or pause it, all sorts of strange things will start happening again. So over here, just excuse me, I'm just going to turn around. So he made me this absolutely gorgeous plaque of Bishopstone Yarns, and here I am sitting there knitting, and it looks just like me, just a younger version of me. But no, it's absolutely gorgeous. And of course over there is my little dog Maya, who may or may not come in here later. The cat has just come in, so Mr. Tig is just sitting at the window. Maya is probably out somewhere else, looking out a different window. So yes, this is absolutely gorgeous. I love this little plaque that he made for me. And below that, sitting on it, is, I don't know if you can see, 100 Knits. This is the interweave book. So this was a fantastic gift that was given to me by a lovely lady called Miriam, who is a fantastic weaver extraordinaire. For those of you who've been watching for a while, you might remember a while ago I was given some gorgeous tea towels, and so they were made by Miriam. And so this book has 100 knits in it, so 100 different patterns. There are hats and socks and shawls and all sorts of amazing patterns in there, and I keep looking through it. There are so many patterns. I go, oh, I'd like to make that, and I'd like to make that, and I'd like to make that, and of course I haven't decided on anything yet, but I'll get around to it. I have been doing a bit of knitting, so I will show you in a little bit. But first thing first is I thought I will just explain to you what I've been up to. One of the big things I've done recently, well, it wasn't really all that big, but after having moved 4.5 years ago, sometimes I'm still looking for stuff. So I came across the other day some kind of bags, little bags, probably about this size, of gum leaves, cordata gum leaves. Now, for those of you who know about eco dyeing, it's where you dye using natural plants and kind of parts of plants to create some absolutely lovely and interesting kind of colours and shapes and things like that. I have done quite a bit of eco dyeing in the past, and I came across these dried cordata leaves, which I've been sitting around here ever since I've moved to this house. So I thought it was about time I got around to using it up. So if you just bear with me, because I have been through all this before. So I decided to do some dyeing. So I had some leftover pieces of cotton bed sheets, and so I just decided I would just throw all these in a dye bath and see what happens. So the first dye bath I used, I had a big pot. I had some water in there, and I put some native cherry in there, which kind of usually gives you a nice yellowy kind of colour, and I've used that really successfully in the past to give me lovely yellows in the ranges of walls and stuff. Cotton, of course, acts very differently. It gives you different colours, and it takes colour very differently to wool. Anyway, I had some pieces. What I had been hoping as well was by dyeing some fabric up, I wanted to use some pieces, just individual pieces, to make up some sewing pieces for bags or for quilts or something like that. So this is what I have done. I've just thrown in some pieces. Now the camera is not going to show this up very well. This is much yellower than it looks here. So these are just pieces that I had put in. I've just put them in individually. If you can kind of see here, wrap them up with different types of twine and rope and things like that. And it has given me some interesting little designs here that I can eventually cut up and use in pieces of sewing. What I'm also hoping to do is get back into making some art pieces. I haven't done a lot of art pieces recently. I do like to make a few art pieces and exhibit them. And in the past I have had some eco-dyed pieces that I have made. So yeah, there wasn't really much. This is kind of wasn't really much going on here. The outer pieces were much more interesting, where I had them bundled up and wrapped up. And here's another piece, which is, you can see a slight bit of red here from the cordata, but it wasn't really doing a great deal. Of course, the outer pieces, so you can see here, this is a piece that was on the outside, exposed when it was in the dye bath, and it's coming along. And so this bit here as well gives me a few interesting, you can see a few shapes of the leaves and bits and pieces there, but nothing too exciting, but still usable pieces. Here's some other yellow. This was quite yellow just from the native cherry. A bit hard to show up on the camera, but there's a little bits and pieces there that I can use. Then not much was happening there, so I decided to get rid of that bath and start with another bath, and this time I was going to put in just cordata, and I think I put about 3 bags worth of leaves in there. So then I started getting, so it's a totally different kind of colour here. Still not a lot of variation, a little bit going on there, but these would still make nice little pieces to cut up and use when it comes around to a bit of quilting or using on bags. So these are just really just scraps that have been left over from previous projects I've worked on, but like they say, there's no point throwing away things, because you never know what you could use them for. Here I've got a little bit of put some clamps on these ones. I've got some little white patches here which have made a few little interesting little shapes and bits and pieces. Nothing very dramatic, nothing overly exciting. This one had you can see the black there. I put a pin in there, old nail in there. Here's one, which this is probably the piece I like the best. These had some old nails in there, and so this piece I could definitely use. I'm sure I can really enjoy using that for something. I really like the colours in this. Yeah, and then just a few bits and pieces here. Then I had an old cardigan. an old woolen cardigan of mine that I hadn't worn for ages. I'd taken it apart and I'd used some other pieces of the cardigan in another project. And so I had put this one, this was originally green. You can see it's got some nice red colours in it now. So, whoops. So what I'm going to end up doing is, here's the seam. I'll undo the seam, and then I'll end up with some pieces of wool here that I can kind of cut up and add to pieces, and could even make some little animals out of these or something. I don't know. But at least I've got some bits and pieces to start thinking about making some projects with. Here's the other sleeve as well. So yes, I got some nice colours, and one of the best colours I got was this one here, which is a sock blank. So I have a knitting machine, and I had put some sock wool onto the knitting machine and just made it into, whoops, a nice big, like a little blanket of sock wool. And so I had this sitting around for a long time, so I just picked it up and threw that in. It gave me an absolutely beautiful, such a, I don't know how you describe it, it's such a reddy brown, beautiful and very shiny. So whatever is mixed in with this, I know this has got wool, maybe a little bit of viscose. I'm wondering if it might also have maybe something like a bit of bamboo or something in it, because it is very shiny. I really can't, I don't think the camera's not going to pick it up, but it is quite shiny. So this will be a lovely pair of socks for myself. You can see there's a little bit of variation there in the colour, which will be absolutely gorgeous, because when I wind this up into a ball and then knit it into socks, it'll just give the socks just a tiny bit of variation. So this was one of the most successful pieces I did. I've just remembered, actually, I do have a skein out in the other room as well, a woolen skein that I put in, and that got a really nice cordata colour as well. But I'm not going to go out there and get it. You'll just have to imagine it, or maybe I'll try and remember to show you next time. But yes, so I was quite happy. The wool, you can see how the wool, let me see if I can, oh, here we go. You can see there is a big difference here between the difference in the colour between the wool and the cotton. Yeah, interesting, isn't it? It's very interesting. So what I have been doing is I have been using up some of my old scraps. So these are old pieces. It might be easy if I just put it here. This was originally dyed with, I was going to say, this is probably dyed with a native cherry, and the slightly bluer colours would have been a copper bath, which I would have made up a long time ago and used. I've got a bit of a circle theme going on here. So, and you can see in the background piece where I've wrapped that up, and how it's made those lovely kind of shapes and lines. I've got some more. I wonder if it's going to, it's not really going to, the camera's not going to play today. And so here we go, there's some more pieces. So these ones are just, all I've done at the moment is kind of, I've sewn these onto the backing pieces. Then I'm going to embroider over, just freestyle embroidering over the top, and then hopefully either put these together for a bit of a quilt or for a bag. I thought maybe the smaller ones might be a bag, and these bigger pieces I might put together for in a quilt. I don't know, a wall hanging type quilt, not a bed quilt. Oh, lost my pieces there. So you can probably see that here with these pieces, they're because because they're eco-dyed, and they, even though they will have a mordant in them, sometimes the colour is fast and sometimes it's not. Sometimes over time, if you leave it out in the sun, it will kind of degrade a little bit and the colours won't be as vibrant. So it's not really something that I'd probably use for a bed quilt, but you know, for bags and wall hangings is probably what I would use them for. Right, now moving along now. As I said, I'm going to go quite quickly. Just need to have a drink. Hold on. Actually made my drink to bring it out here while I posted my previous video onto YouTube, but because everything went all over the place, I'm remaking the video instead. So I'm sorry if I seem a bit rushed, but I just thought I'll get through this before any strange things seem to be happening. I have been cross-stitching each morning. I'm getting into a bit of a habit of doing some cross-stitch, so I have been working on my Animal Cracker Maggie May, and oh gosh, I had gone through all the different colours I had used as well last time. Will I go back through them? Do you want to know what they are? I might go through them quickly. So here she is, my little beautiful bunny. So I have finished her, well, I finished the cross stitch of her. Oh, except I do need to put her whiskers on. I haven't put her whiskers on. So I have finished her, and then I still need to sew her up into a little dolly. Yes. I really like her. She is so cute. And I've seen a lot of these made, and also in the way that a lot of people have had different coloured cardigans, different coloured dresses, little slippers. You can change the colours of her slippers. She's just absolutely gorgeous. She's really gorgeous. I'm really happy with her. And it's kind of weird having to repeat everything. The colours that I used, I tried to stick as much as possible with the colours that were suggested, but of course I also wanted to keep what was in my stash, using what was in my stash. So this is 402, or commonly known as black. I used 832 as the kind of like edging of her cardigan. Her cardigan is this one, 102. Her little dress is 753, which probably is not going to show. Maybe you can see there it's a little bit variegated, which I really like. So it makes it look like her dress is a little old dress, little antique vintage dress. This is something obscure that has like the little flowery pattern on her, well, not flowery, but whatever the pattern is on her cardigan. Something obscure that I found in my stash. Her ears and her cheeks are 401. So these are all DCMs, by the way. DCMs, DMCs. You know what I'm talking about. So this was, 401. 671. Oh, look, everything's kind of hanging off as well. 671 was the part of her face. And I've got some grey bits here. I'm just trying to think. Just another obscure grey, bluey, steely grey that I found in my stash that was part of her dress. And this one, I don't know. Did I even use this one? I don't know. That is my gorgeous little bunny. Yes. Now, as we're whipping right along, I have finished a little bit of sewing. So, using Peyton's Patternelle, which I think I showed you last time, and this absolutely gorgeous colorway. Lots of my favorite colors in there, especially the purples and the blues. So this colorway is 4314. Patternelle's 4-ply premium wool blend. Beautiful. Here we go. I have finished a pair of socks for myself. And as I was saying before, I've only got a little foot. And so knitting myself socks doesn't take very long. But this is just gorgeous. I absolutely love, 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 love. Oh, look, my remainder nail polish goes really well with my socks there. Look, I like this colour nail polish so much that I haven't taken it off all my fingers yet. Yeah, so I absolutely love these socks. These are probably one of my favourite colourways, I think. Even though, where are we? Yellow is not necessarily my favourite colour. Not at all my favourite colour. I still love these. These are just gorgeous. Absolutely gorgeous. And here is my second sock, just to show that I have finished a pair. Beautiful. The other pair of socks that I have been knitting and almost finished, just need to do the toes, is for the son that gave me this lovely plaque here at the back. I can't find the tag for this. I was thinking it's probably, yeah, I don't know what it is actually. So I have finished a pair of socks for him. I only just need to finish just to sew up the toes. Here at the end I've been using a 2.25 circular needle, 2 at a time, cuff down, just with a regular heel, flap and gusset. I knit mine on my socks on a 2mm needle, and his of course are on a 2.25. And out of a ball of wool, that's how much is left. And I'll just show you the difference. Like my sock, his sock, yeah, my foot is a little bit smaller, and so of course while I was knitting his, of course knitting along here, I felt like I was going forever and ever and ever and ever and ever and ever. But I did measure it, and no, it is supposed to be correct. So hopefully they all fit, because now he's not in the state. I can't try them on him, but yeah, very happy with those. Just need to sew the toes in, which I will get around to doing very soon, I think. I hope. Right, that is a really quick zip around of what I have been making. Just have another drink, and then I'll just show you something that I bought. My coffee is getting cold now. A little while ago, I went for a little trip to a little town, not too far away from here, called New Norfolk, and went to the antique shops up there. And so I bought this lovely bobbin. This is a bobbin, quite a large bobbin from an old woolen mill. I've been looking for some of these for a long time. This one is quite, well, I was going to say quite dirty. Just looking at how I'm going to clean it. But so I bought this as more as a display, just as a piece of history as well, because it, yeah, I find these really interesting. I've been looking for some of these for a long time. Originally I was looking for some so I could use them to display some cross stitch. I know a lot of people put like a little cross stitch piece and they attach it to this, which would be really quite cute. So even though it was kind of cheapish, but not cheap enough that I was going to buy a whole heap of them, put it that way. But I did find these two as well, which I absolutely love. So for those of you who are weavers, you will probably recognize these. I'm not quite sure what they're called. If you know the name of these, let me know. Just leave a message in the comments below. Let me know what they are called. You can see here it's got some of the old, I think that's cotton on there. So these would have been wrapped with either wool or cotton, and they would be going in the old weaving machines, and they would go, I think, inside, and this is what my understanding is, They sit inside the shuttles and they'll be flying backwards and forwards across the weaving. I might be wrong, but I think that's what they're used for. Anyway, they are from the old woolen mill that used to be in the north of Tasmania. Tasmania being really well known for its really fine wool and woolen products, and this mill in the north of the state was going for a long time. It was really well known and had a lot of fantastic woolen products coming out of it. Unfortunately, it no longer does that, and the old machines are kind of not working anymore. I don't know if they still have any up there or if they've been sold off to other places, but this is part of history, so a bit of Tasmanian history, and I just kind of thought it's really nice to have some of these pieces. Yeah. These were reasonably priced. They weren't cheap, but they weren't really expensive, but I kind of just like them for their just how they look. Yeah. I think I'm just having a look around because I'm going to stop now, and hopefully the sound and the picture of this video will be okay, because I do not want to have to do this a third time. I'm not doing anything. I'm still working on my other quilt, and I will do a video of that sometime later to show everyone. I hope everyone has had a really nice crafting month. I hope those people in Australia who have had lots and lots of rain are safe and well, and people haven't had too much damage wherever you are. And yeah, it's always the way though, isn't it? The weather is unpredictable, and between heat, dry, rain and fire, there's always seems to be something going on around Australia. Luckily here we have had some really, really cold weather. Luckily, now that I have shown you my socks, I can now wear them, take them off and wear them, because we have had some of the temperature has been down to, well, I was walking the other night and it was 1 degrees. So the days, well, today is still quite a nice sunny day. We have had some lovely sunny days, but we also have had some quite cold mornings and evenings. So that is it. I'm going to stop now and keep my fingers crossed that this video will be okay and that there isn't something weird happening on my computer. And I will see you all next month. Bye.